Doing today is to give some observations that we are seeing based on BARC data, of course, and maybe some things that I'm foreseeing as we see data and what is coming through about the way things are evolving. So I'll take you through a small part of that, and I'm open to any kind of questions because I think more people want to question me than to hear me. That's the kind of things that they are. So I'll start with some big numbers, and in everything I try to see a positive part of it, and hence some big numbers. Say, for example, developed countries. Developed countries like US or UK have about 96% penetration of television in India. India is still at about 153 million. This is as per our last number, which is 2013 number. We are doing a Broadcast India survey as we speak, and I think the numbers will be out only around April. So you will see a revised set of numbers which is present. This is slightly dated, but at the same time you can get an idea. Is about 153 million TV households around the country, which is roughly about 56 or odd percent penetration of the number of households that are there in India. So there's a huge room or a huge headroom for growth is what I wanted to highlight. Of which I think rural is the where there's a huge headroom and a huge potential to grow. So TV in India will still grow, will grow leaps and bounds, and you will see a huge amount of growth happening in the next few years. This whole issue of, as I said, this is the part of the observation, this issue of DAS 3, DAS 2 and all that, what I see is a lot of missing gaps in people's understanding, and this is why I thought I'll point it here, and our friends in Television Post may like to take note. You know, a lot of people feel DAS 3 is about only small towns. Sorry, no, it is not. There are about seven odd 1 million plus towns which are involved, which are not part of DAS 2. It is also part of DAS 3, and you will see changes in their effect of that as we implement DAS 3. There are even metro cities, for example, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, where there is an impact of DAS 3. Please understand that the DAS 2 happened with Census 2001 data. Census 2011 data is being implemented in DAS 3, and there are lots of parts of Bombay, for example, Vasai, Virar, Bhayandars, which were not part of DAS 2, which is being implemented in DAS 3. Similarly, Delhi, you didn't have Gurgaon, Greater Noida as part of Delhi, as the way it has been now defined as urban agglomeration. And similarly, Bangalore. So a lot of 1 million plus towns, a lot of metros, or what we call mega cities, are being affected by DAS 3, and a lot of people miss this. And I was very surprised some of the bigger networks have missed this, and hence I am making this point that please don't expect only DAS 3, so to speak, listed DAS 3 towns to only have a problem. Because of DAS 3, even DAS 4 areas are getting affected because of the obvious reasons that the fibers are passing through those areas. So in BARC data or anywhere, when you see effects of DAS 3, don't expect it to be only in small town. It can be all over the place, is what I wanted to highlight. The things that we are observing, and also what we are seeing shifts in our view, is how genres are classified. You know, we have, for example, Telugu. A couple of Telugu GCs get about 40% of their ratings out of movies and not entertainment, general fiction content. There are news channels, and I won't name again, which gets a fairly large amount of about something about 30-35% of their ratings out of GEC content. Okay, so what we see is an evolving genre classification. What we also are seeing, based on the kind of data that is coming out of different geographies now that we have rolled out rural and all that, please understand that in our erstwhile system, what used to be called as urban LC1 were only 6 states. That's it. It was not all the states of India. What we are seeing now of small town India and rural, that these are very different markets. Very soon we should see a very different kind of segmentation. People may not aspire, all of them may not aspire to be all India number ones in every genre. People will want to make 1 million plus number ones, people will want to make rural number ones, depending on how the advertising monies flow, of course. So there's a lot of segmentation changes that we think that would happen in the near future. It's very, very clear that there are advertisers who want to address the rural market, there are advertisers who want to address the urban market. So why do you need to be everything for everyone? You know, is the basic construct that I'm trying to put forward. So we will see a lot of changes in genres, in the way the genre is classified. We will see a lot of changes in the segmentation, the way we segment it today and maybe tomorrow. The last, but not the least, is what we have seen with the whole thing, what people call volatility, we call it fidelity of data. We have seen that when broadcasters intervene, whether it is induced, for example, in news channel, when a Pathankot happens, figures went up by about 27% in Hindi news, figures went out about 23% in English news. When broadcasters intervened with a big dollar movie like a Bajrangi Bhaijaan, it gave them a 5.5 ratings. A movie like a Bahubali gave them a 3.1 rating. Now you spend big monies for that, right? So when you spend big monies, the people watch it and the rating curve shows a huge spike. Some people call it volatility, we call it fidelity. Whenever something happens, whether it be Chennai floods, whether it be Bangalore power cuts, whether it be Chennai rains rather, whatever, or different parts of the country, whatever happens, we see effect on the rating curves. In Rajasthan also, at one point of time, there were some power cuts, but Karnataka was extremely severe, and we saw effects of that in the ratings. This is the fidelity of the data which speaks, which also means that what you saw yesterday may not hold true for tomorrow. Every day you don't play a Bajrangi Bhaijaan, every day Pathankot doesn't happen, right? So past can't be the predictor for future. We have some segments in our industry who still believe in the accounting method of regression. Basically, whatever has happened in the past, you put a 9% increase or whatever, that kind of increase, and everything should be predicting the future. That doesn't happen, very honestly. We were used to a system where we would average or smoothen out data, and hence it would show like that. It is not normal. What we do is we pick up the data and we just present to you guys verbatim. And hence, what we see, there are genuine peaks and genuine troughs in the data. It is not smooth. And hence, past can't predict the future. That's, in short, what we wanted to say. I'm open to questions as usual. DAS 3, 31st December or 1st January, we saw only a couple of networks switching off, very honestly. And some of them are sitting here, but not a very widespread switch-offs happened. This is the most I can talk about DAS 3.
Partho,
Sirji.
I think the event-based fluctuation in the rating we have been seeing for last 18 years. Can you tell this audience that how many meters you had done and how fast you are rolling out and where ultimately you will reach?
Yeah.
So that it is most accurate and the subjectivity is taken away.
That's right. We have rolled out 22,000 meters, means 22,000 homes, not meters. There are multi-TV homes and all that. Roughly, we have about 25,000 meters, but 22,000 homes is what we regularly track. The plan is to add about 10,000, means 11,000 homes every year, going up to 55,000, which is in next 3 years. Effectively, 22, 10, 10, 10 that's the rollout plan. For a country of the size of India and the heterogeneity of India, which is not a single country or a single market per se, honestly, 22,000 doesn't do full justice to it. We need more meters. We need much more widespread coverage to make it much more richer data. But at the same time, we are roughly about 3 times from where we were. So to that extent, it's much more richer data, but there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to make things better.
So out of this 20,000 meters, how many meters are how many meters are throwing the data on weekly basis? Because there may be some homes which have no power that time, or there may be homes they had gone on holidays. So in the industry, since we know that the meter installation and meters throwing the data, there can be a variation of even 50 to 60%. So is it holds true for BARC as well?
So I'll try and explain how it works. These meters are embedded with a memory. There's a good amount of memory which can actually hold 90 days data. So if there is a power cut, moment the power comes back, it throws back the data. Okay. If there is a, like what you said, people have gone on holiday, people wouldn't have seen. We also see that the meter has not been switched on. That we can see from our dashboard back in Bombay. If you remember the incident that happened both in Gujarat and in Tamil Nadu. In Gujarat, during that Hardik Patel demonstration, government had switched off all GPRS networks. We didn't get data. So we told the subscribers very clearly that this week, these 3 days, we have not got data because of this Gujarat issue from Gujarat. And as and when we get the data, we will update this 3 days with that data, which is what we did. Same thing happened for Chennai floods. About 2 weeks, two weeks we didn't give data, purely because it was not throwing back data, the GPRS was not there, power was not there. But as and when whichever homes had some amount of power and then it would have switched off, when the data came back, which was pretty low because a lot of places there were no power, but it came back. So even if there is a power cut, even if people are not at home, that gets reflected. It may come today or it may come tomorrow, but it gets reflected in the data that comes out. And we make clear, transparent declarations of that Gujarat, for example, that we are not being able to give you data for these 3 days.
No, but my question was that when I had interacted with the other agency, so the industry norms and internationally, almost you are not able to extract the data from your meter, which is almost more than 1/3.
More than?
1/3 of the meters are not throwing data. Maybe you are not able to access, or there is no power in the home, or there is a fault in the meter or the box. So this is what I am saying, that you must have some plan to make it more robust, that you have installation of 20,000 meter, or if only 10,000 is throwing the data.
Yes. So,
and why I am asking this question, that in the past, whatever the way the metering and rating has been structured, there was some MSO or some distributor of a MSO, they used to take a major pie of carriage fee, because they know that in this area there are more meters, the percentage comes very high, and in some of the MSOs or distributor area, there is no meter. So if you talk about Mumbai or Delhi or any other part, so there has been incidents when your fulfillment agency who used to install the meter, where meter are installed, the SSC A category, where the household income has to be something in the ways, maybe 50,000 a year or something like that. So the meter are installed in such a home where the actual decision maker, like somebody wants to buy a car, so the rating, the meter is installed in such a home, they may not be buyer of the car. So I hope that you can take care of all these things, which, and if the ratings are the same, is only the heads that change or this thing, then it may not help the industry, it may be helping some few.
Okay. Let me give you a slightly more elaborate answer to that to address all your points. First of all, this whole ACC system has gone. You know, we use something called NCCS, where what you claim as income is not important. What you effectively, what is more important is when someone goes home, they see what number of durables you have, and we have a list of durables starting from car to AC to electricity to everything. I mean, from an agricultural land it starts. So based on your spending power, not necessarily what you earn, you are classified. So we call this a system called NCCS. Second thing to address the same point is many a times we have heard the same complaint that SCCA, you find it only in slums and that kind of thing. We have ensured that, say for example, I remember because we did some immersion recently at Chennai, roughly about 94% of the PIN codes of Chennai have our meters. So it is widely distributed. Typically we give a PIN code dispersion, not necessarily just a NCCS dispersion to say that you go and get me so many NCCS homes. So PIN code dispersion helps that large part of the city gets covered. Coming to your other issue of some distribution, or rather some MSOs having larger weightage and hence getting more, what do you call, carriage fee. It's a big issue that we have all known. Okay, so what, and people do know the way we have gone about it. There's a lot of technology that we have employed to ensure that these lists don't get out or people don't get to know. But at the end of the day, it's a physical meter. So to that extent, when cable operators go home, they see it and they know that there is a meter at this home or that home. That you can't really deny. It will always happen as and when we do that. So what are the things that we do to check that? That is more important. See, first of all, it will take some time for for cable operators to find out where the meters are. They are trying all over the place. We have a lot of incidents all over the place, and we know what's happening where in each city. So what are the things that we do? One is that there's a full backend system where when we see data, any unusual blips of data, even non-prime hours, late night, whatever it is, there's a full AI software that runs to pick out what we call outliers. Anything which seems like a slightly different kind of a trade of, say, for example, Nikhil sitting there, what he would normally watch and what he's watching, first would be quarantined and figured out whether there was something special which could be of Nikhil's interest, which has gone there. Just to give an example, say he doesn't watch Star Plus regularly, but at the same time, one fine Sunday, I'm seeing him watching 3 hours of Star Plus. We would find out what was playing on Star Plus. Was it an IFA award, which typically he watches some Bollywood movies sometimes, in which case he comes back to the panel. If not, he is observed. He doesn't know that we are not taking his data into the calculation. That is why 20,000 versus 22,000. That 2,000 extra is always used for doing these kind of things. Once we are fully sure that it is not a question or not a situation of being influenced, I'm using polite words, then Nikhil comes back to the panel. Otherwise, he is permanently quarantined. We are also supposed to churn out 25% of the panel every year, which would also take care of many of such homes where we have slight doubts. To be honest with you, over this last 7 months, we have seen in a few cities some incidents like this, where one of our panel, workforce members was paid a 1 lakh rupee cash, being told, "Ab 10 naam de dijiye, 10 ghar ka address de dijiye, another 4 lakhs will follow." All kinds of things have happened. People are going around homes in another city down south where 2 programs from 2 broadcasters are being told to be watched. Obviously, it is somebody else at play. There's one metro city in the country where people claim there are 100 lists which is going around all over the place, out of which 7 were actual homes, which is part of the BARC system, out of that 100 list, which I also got. Some channel CEO came and gave me, out of which 7 were actual homes of BARC, not the 93. Those 7 were also quarantined in the same process that we talked about much before, and they have been uprooted. The meters have been uprooted from there also much before, but that list is being circulated as if they've got a pot of gold. So ye sab hota rahega. Very honestly, this is part of our job that we have to be up on the intelligence curve on that and keep on taking out such panel and such, because these are physical things. You can't expect around the country that everybody will go absolutely become very, very straight overnight. They have used the earlier system. They will try to use this system also. There's a large economy, or large, small, whatever is relative, which does this and which are still trying to do this. We have employed 2 or 3 vigilance agencies, which does work for us to actually tail some of our own people who go to homes, to tail cable operators who are reaching those homes too many times whenever we see this abnormal data. So there are 3 or 4 ways we keep on keeping check. And few weeks back, about I think 3 weeks back, we made a public disclosure that we are churning in few places some homes very clearly, which would also affect the data in a way, but we have to churn because those were again compromised by some people in a couple of cities. I won't disclose geographies or even the channel names here, but at the same time it was done, and hence we churned those homes out. So as and when that happens, we will do that.
Actually, it is not 1 lakh, it is runs in crores,
Yes.
number one.
No.
And the industry has already deployed almost 80 million set-top box. There is a possibility to do a million box who throws the data, and these kind of manipulation can be eliminated and minimized.
So that
So
way,
BARC is doing on those any efforts on that line? That the MSOs as it have universe of 10 million
so
set-top
that
box.
way, I think we had a golden opportunity when we first rolled out DAS. In all set-top boxes, if you would have put a small chip for a return path and invested in bandwidth for the return path, then you wouldn't have been doing sample what we are trying to do today. You would have been getting universe data. Even now, it is possible, but then it will have to be done pan-India. Otherwise, you will not get representative. You will get some MSOs data only. You can get DTH data that way very easily, the return path data. But then it won't be representative of the whole of India. India is a country of multiplicity. So there are too many things that are at play. If we should have ideally done that for all cable operators at one stage.
Hello. Yeah, hi. There is a small question. My name is Vikram. Hi, good morning, Mr. Partho.
Hi.
Mr. Partho, there is a question. When we talk about these meters, these are fixed meters or there is some rotation policy after some time, maybe after a quarter or a
25% gets churned every year.
every
So
year? But
25% gets churned every year.
okay, this gets churned, or there is no auto system where you are yourself changing the meters in these areas.
I didn't get you.
I'm saying, is
Means
there?
let me explain churn.
Right.
Churn means there's some amount of forced churn, there's some amount of unforced churn. Some people may not want to keep the meter at their home.
Okay.
And some people, we will typically move it out and put it in another set of homes based on the same parameters, basically.
And the way you have said, there is a classification. There is a classification of A, B, and C class also in the areas. For example, if I take a small town, which is, let's take any -3 town, for example, Gurgaon. Gurgaon has right now A1 category, A category, B, and maybe C also.
We have A, B, C, D, E.
You are taking care of all the categories in this.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Partho.
Hi.
There was a recent merger with TAM or an acquisition. I'm sure those people homes are still available. Do you intend to redeploy or use those homes as part of your panel going forward?
Let me be very, very clear. I think there are some confusions there. We are not using any TAM home.
Okay.
We are only using TAM meters.
Right.
So the legal process is on. I think we should be closing it in the next couple of days, if not tomorrow types. It's a long legal process. I mean, these things take time. Post that, TAM will start taking out meters from each home and it will come back to our warehouses around the country, from where it will be again deployed back based on BARC's methodology of selecting homes.
And ever since the rural data has come out, can you throw some light on any new trends you see emerging, and especially after you're going to redeploy the new universe as an update?
See, one big trend which is already out, and I won't comment on the new universe part. I think it's not right to, till the time it's completely out. We have some pre-reads, but we don't want to comment on that. It has clearly shown is like any other category in India. I mean, look at cars, look at soaps, look at everything. India is a land of multiplicity, plurality, right? I mean, you have Maruti or rather Tata Nano, which is what, $2,000 odd to a Rolls-Royce Phantom being sold in India. India will have India 1, India 2. India will have India and Bharat. So please, I talked about segmentation earlier. Please be prepared for a lot of different parts of India to be behaving differently and a lot of markets to be emerging. In my view, it's a huge opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities which will come up. Till few days back, people used to rely on one or two broadcasters to go to rural. Tomorrow, now that we know what rural looks like, I mean, there are a lot of advertisers who has a huge amount of stake at rural. I don't know whether you know, in a lot of FMCG products, their margins are much better in the products that they sell at rural than in urban towns. So these guys will have accountability of their money being spent on broadcasters who go to, or channels which go to rural India. So whether it will throw up more monies there, we don't know. Time will only tell. But the fact is, now they can measure. Earlier, they were doing it completely opaquely.
And my last question is, considering the rural geography, which is fairly larger than the urban geography, is your disbursement or empanelment of homes going to be far larger than what it is in urban?
See, as we stand today, because of multiple reasons, today, India's TV owning household, if you take a split, urban will be about 50% and rural will be about 50%. In fact, the results that come out for us also is something similar. We, I think, show about 21.2 billion impressions or rating thousands or whatever, whichever way you want to call it, around the country every week, which is roughly, again, 50-50, 10.4 and 11 odd billion. We have 30% of our meters in rural and 70% of our meters in urban. Why? Okay, very, very clearly why. There is always, ideally one would love to have more, but there is always an issue of how much money you can spend on it. You guys pay for it, so you know better what the ecosystem can spend. India has only 2.2 billion as advertising revenues, which is piddly if you can't consider the rest of the world when it comes to the number of million subscribers we have and things like that. Now, a simple example is, go to a small village near, maybe here only near Alwar, okay? And if in that 50-kilometer radius, even if you meter 5 homes, you can be reasonably assured that it will reflect that 50-kilometer radius village. Why? Purely because it's a very homogeneous place. Culturally, they are very homogeneous. They speak the same language, they do the same things, that kind of thing. Look at where you are sitting. Even in a 50-kilometer radius, even if you put 500, you will not be able to do justice. So urban obviously is more heterogeneous, rural is more homogeneous, and hence lesser number of meters in rural. Can it be done better? Of course it can be done better. I mean, there is no dispute to that. But it ultimately costs money, which the whole ecosystem has to bear.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. Hi, Partho.
Hi.
You just talked about data breaches happening in the BARC system as well, which has obviously happened in the past at TAM. Why didn't you get into a scenario where you start naming and shaming organizations?
We would love to do that.
channels,
We would love to do that.
People who are doing this, so that at least you make an example out of a few, that the message
We would
goes
love to
down
do that.
everybody.
The only problem is, Rahul, you know that it's difficult to get hard evidence. Given half a chance, I'll do it.
Good.